Welcome to Studio 51. I'm Chelsea Kuchik.
And I'm Kevin Carroll.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm Stephanie Buffamonte.
And I'm Chelsea Kuchik. Studio 51 is a weekly news magazine produced by Loyola University students in Chicago. We have a great show lined up for you this week. Our commentary takes on the latest in the outrage in Ferguson, while our entertainment report gives an update on the Cosby debacle. And if you didn't catch Law & Order SVU last night, our entertainment reporter has the scoop on its celebrity connections. Also, fall is officially here, so stay tuned for our complete weekend forecast. Something that comes as no surprise, it's flu season and it's looking pretty bad. Our health report has more. Finally, in sports, we've heard enough about Cutler. Our Sports in 51 Seconds gives us an update on the Bulls. But first, New York City was at a standstill last night with chants of "I can't breathe," the latest rally cry for racial justice. For more on this and other top news stories, here's Emma Wheeler with this week's news summary.
Hey there guys, I'm here outside the studio and I hate to be the first one to admit it, but I think the cold is here to stay. I'm wearing a coat and my scarf and I'm still feeling the winter chill. Rumor even has it that we might see our first snowfall this weekend, so definitely keep your eyes open for that. Nevertheless, let's move into our weekend weather forecast. Starting on Friday, Halloween, we're expecting some high winds and possible showers. So I'm going to suggest getting ready with a couple extra layers to your costume this year. It's going to be chilly. I'm going to recommend staying inside and sleeping off all that fun you have this weekend. For Studio 51's Weekend Weather Report, I'm Chelsea Kuchik, wishing you a safe and fun Halloween. Thanks, and back to you guys in the studio.
You know, Chelsea, I like Starbucks, but 30 years of Starbucks sounds like it's gonna make me sick.
I can't even.
Well, you know, Chelsea, it's the holiday season. You know what that means? It's flu season.
Yeah, Kevin, did you get your shot?
I'm immune.
Well, for us normal human beings, you might want to listen to our health report. Studio 51's Alex Whitler has a scary forecast for this year's flu season.
Chelsea has more in this with this week's Phoenix interview.
Thanks, Kevin. And thank you, Grace, for joining us. So this week in the Phoenix, you talk about this raid. Can you give us some perspective on these raids? This seems like a lot of students around campus.
Yes, there were 45 students total that were caught with fake IDs.
So students are wondering, is Loyola involved with this, or is it just Chicago PD who's conducting these raids?
These raids are actually done by the Illinois Secretary of State Police.
So what everyone's asking are, what are the legal ramifications that these students are going to face for having a fake ID?
Well, being caught in possession of a fake ID is a Class A misdemeanor.
So maybe they have that going for them, but what about university ramifications? Is the university going to punish these students at all?
Yes, all the students have to face some consequences with Loyola.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. The article again is on the front page of the Phoenix. Just because it's getting colder outside doesn't mean grilling season has to be over. I headed to Gyukaku with some of the Studio 51 crew to get our grill on.
Whoever said it isn't polite to play with your food hasn't been to Gyukaku. Located on East Ohio Street, this restaurant provides a social dining experience with do-it-yourself cooking guided by the helpful staff. Serving up Korean-inspired Japanese barbecue, Gyukaku has grills at every table. This isn't Benihana, though. Diners cook the majority of their food as it comes on smaller plates. We stopped by during happy hour, which runs daily from 11:30 to 6 p.m. It's the best time to visit, especially if you're on a budget. There's a lot to choose from, but a warning to vegetarians. The menu is mostly meat-based. Veggie, rice, and soup options are available, but most seemed more like sides than an entree. For those of age, Gyukaku also has a fun assortment of Asian beers and cocktails. We ordered a hypnotic Bellini and a white peach sochu. Both are sweet and not too strong. For a full meal, Gyukaku recommends 2 meat dishes and a veggie plate per person. We started with the spicy tuna volcano. These bits of fried rice topped with tuna were delicious, giving a crunch with each spiced bite. We also got a free bowl of edamame just for checking in on Facebook. For the meal, we ordered the New York strip steak, the yaki shabu beef, and the spicy pork. If undercooked food scares you, the servers instruct the cooking times and will help if necessary. We could each cook the meat to our liking, and then dipped them in the provided sauces, adding even more flavor. To complete the main course, we ordered the sukiyaki bibimbap, which is a spiced fried rice served in a hot stone pot. For dessert, the s'mores were too enticing to pass up. Just like sitting around a campfire, Gyukaku's grills allow for a great conversation and an interactive dining experience. The meal came out to about $11 a person, minus the drinks. which is a steal since we were all stuffed. If you'd rather not participate via cooking or are with children who have a tendency to touch things, this might not be the place for you. For everyone else, I highly recommend Gyukaku as a fun place for a cute date, a night out with friends, or a place for your parents to treat you to a feast. For Studio 51, I'm Chelsea Kuchik.
Studio 51's Chelsea Kuchik has a special report.
So one day of chilly weather might be a fluke, but it's been almost a whole week of freezing temperatures here in Chicago. And people are wondering, is this another polar vortex? Are we to expect another winter like last year's? Some experts say it might be so. According to the National Weather Service, Chicago's early winter isn't just cold, it's record-breaking. Monday's high of 15 degrees just missed the standing record, and Tuesday's high of 19 broke a record from 1903. Rick DeMaio, meteorologist and adjunct professor at Loyola University Chicago, explains if we will see a repeat of last year.
Well, to answer your question, is it the polar vortex 2.0 is, yeah. But every year we have a polar vortex.
He explained that the polar vortex is a natural part of the atmospheric flow. It's a large dip in the atmosphere that allows air to remain over a certain region for a long period of time.
The pattern that we've been in for the last week has been this persistent area of Arctic high pressure that's been coming in from the northern plains.
It's unusual to have two extreme winters back to back, but the conditions are favorable.
I think there's at least a 60 to 70% chance that we can easily see another winter like last year from a standpoint of snow, only because of the amount of cold air that has never gone away.
While atmospheric changes might be natural, the early arrival of winter is not.
I don't think anybody can argue the fact that it's cold really early. Does this mean it's going to stay cold through the rest of the winter? Probably not, but at least through the first part of December and early January.
Unfortunately, an early winter does not always translate to an earlier spring.
Last year we had such an extensive period of cold and snow that the Great Lakes had the most ice they've ever seen, 92% at one point.
The lakes take a while to freeze and eventually to thaw. This can make winters even longer as cold air hangs.
The bottom line is our seasons have changed, not only the numbers in between, but the beginning and the end time as well. So I don't think having cold winters means that you're going to have an early spring, but I've definitely seen a trend towards spring starting here a little bit later.
So what are we to do about all this cold in Chicago? DeMaio's #1 recommendation is to wear your gloves, wear your hats, and your coat. You're never too cool to dress warm. For Studio 51, I'm Chelsea Kuchik. Stay warm.
So Kevin, it's our last show this week.
I know, and I speak for everyone at Studio 51 when I say it has been definitely a wild ride, and I want to wish everyone good luck on their finals and happy holidays.
As always, thank you for watching.